So today we are going to be completing the square of this circle, and once we've done that, we're also going to be finding the center and the radius, which is a lot easier to very quickly just take a look at the equation and find once we have completed the square, and I'll get to that when we've completed the square. Okay, so first of all, how do we complete the square? Well, completing the square in general, we need to take a look at the terms with x, and we need to take a look at the terms with y, and we're going to be treating these very separately pretty much all throughout this process. So the first thing we would need to do is if there were to be any leading coefficients other than 1, we would need to common factor those out. Now in this case, there are none, so we don't have to worry about that. The next step is we're going to take the non-leading coefficients for each one, and we're going to divide by 2 and then square. So we're going to be doing that to -6 as it's the non-leading coefficient for x, and we're going to be doing that to 8 as that's the non-leading coefficient for the y terms. So -6 divided by 2 squared is equal to -3 squared, which is equal to 9. And then 8 divided by 2 squared is equal to 4 squared, which is equal to 16. So overall, we're going to be adding 25. Now we can do this in one of two ways. We could either add 16 and subtract 16 from the same side and then do the same thing with 9. Or we could add 25 to both sides. So I'm going to add 25 to both sides. And here's how I'm going to do that. On the left side, I'm going to add plus 9 here right after the -6x, because when we took -6 and we divided by 2 and squared, we got 9. So 9 should come right after that to set us up nicely for our next step. Then I'm going to add 16 to the end of the second part here, because when we took 8 divided by 2 and squared, we got 16. And then to keep the equation balanced, because I added 9 plus 9 and plus 16 to the left, I also need to add a plus 9 and a plus 16 to the right. So overall, I'm going to be adding 25 to the right, and that's going to get me 37 overall on the right because we already had 12. Okay, my next step is I am going to use the perfect triple method in order to factor the first 3 terms and the last 3 terms of our left. So recall here that a plus b squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. And we should be able to do that, use this method for both of these things, right? If we've done all the steps up to now correctly, because we didn't just randomly add 9 and randomly add 16. We added them strategically. We divided the non-leading coefficient by 2 and squared in order to specifically set ourselves up so that we could do this next step. So now I'm going to factor and get x minus 3 squared plus y plus 4 squared is equal to 37. And there we go. That is our final answer in terms of finding the equation of the circle in the completing the square form. Now, the other thing they asked us to do, if we go back to the question for a minute, is they asked us to find the center and radius. And the center is always just going to be the h comma k values, right? Because recall that any circle can be written like this. Any circle can be written as x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals to something, right? And so therefore, in order to find the center, we're going to have it be 3, -4, right? And then as for the radius, it's that's going to be the square root of what we have on our right. So the radius is going to be the square root of 37 in this case, and only the positive square root. Since it is a radius, it must be just the positive square root, not plus or minus the square root in this scenario. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to leave those in the comments, and we'll see you for the next one.